I watched the green candles climb on my trading screen as Nova Quanta Systems touched another all-time high. Market cap, $4.2 billion. Not bad for code my parents hawked 5 years ago. My phone hummed. "Call us, sweetheart. Family investment opportunity." I laughed into my empty office. Back then, Dad announced the sale over dinner as if reading a weather report. $10,000 for computer scribbles. Mom said I could finally accept the junior accountant role at Anderson and Company. I remember my fork hovering. The registration email, the transfer notice, the hot prickle in my throat that meant either tears or war. War won. Today, the intercom clicked. "Miss Hart, Helix Dynamics is here." I straightened my jacket, the kind money buys you after the world bets against you, and said, "Send them in." Their lead counsel began pleasantries. I raised a hand. "Let's skip to the part where you explain why you've been building an empire on a patent you bought from people who had no right to sell it. $10,000 for an engine that now drives half your AI revenue. Quite a bargain." They shifted, weighed options, and learned mine. Either return what was stolen and weather the reckoning, or accept acquisition on my terms. Hostile? No. Honest. When they left, my assistant set reports on my desk. "Your parents called again," she said. "Then let them wait," I answered, opening the Helix file and a door I had sworn never to close again. I drove to the cul-de-sac where the porch light buzzed like a tired bee. Mom opened before I knocked, smoothing her apron the way she does when numbers make her nervous. Dad stood behind her, jaw set in that "I did what I had to" line. "We sold it because you were drowning," he said before hello. "Bills, loans, rejection emails. You sold me," I replied, stepping past the threshold, "and now Helix is using what you pawned." Mom guided me to the dining table, the same oak that once carried my prototype in pieces. She slid a folder toward me. Clippings, congratulatory notes from neighbors who'd read about Nova Quanta. "We're proud," she whispered. "Pride isn't restitution." I opened my laptop, screen reflecting the chandelier's cracked crystal. "I need the original emails, any messages from the buyer, and the receipt you typed in Word, everything." Dad exhaled. "We never meant to hurt you. The buyer said it was worthless without infrastructure." "Then they shouldn't mind giving it back." I left with a shoebox of printouts and a flash drive labeled Garden Photos. At a 24-hour cafe, I met Zoe, my first hire, my fiercest skeptic. She scanned the files, eyebrows rising. "They embedded your compiler flags into their SDK. If the court sees this, Helix folds." "Not yet," I said. "They'll bargain." Zoe smiled without softness. "So will we." Before dawn, I emailed Helix a term sheet. Carve out of their AI division royalties apology. I blind copied my parents. They needed to witness the opening bid. Helix answered at noon with a PDF of counterterms and a polite threat. I printed it and went to arbitration. Their CEO, Adrian Vale, arrived with a smile made for photographs. "I've reviewed your offer," he said. "I brought proof," I replied, sliding Zoe's analysis across the table. The panelists traced lines of code, timestamps, purchase orders. My name ran through their architecture like a spine. When Helix's counsel demanded a recess, the chair shook her head. "We'll proceed." So we did. I testified about prototype days, the sale I hadn't consented to, the growth of Nova Quanta. I did not mention the porch light or the cracked crystal. Those belonged to me. By afternoon, Vale's smile had loosened. "We propose a partnership," he tried. "You propose repair," I said. "AI division spins out under Nova Quanta, back royalties, and a public acknowledgement of origin." Silence. Chair said, "This remedy is reasonable." At dusk, we signed. A statement went live. Helix recognized Nova Quanta's foundational tech and my authorship. They would pay and step back. My phone filled with messages. One from Mom. "We read it. We're sorry." One from Dad. "Can we talk?" I sent a meeting link. In the mirror, I studied the woman returning calls to people who once priced her at $10,000. I didn't feel vindictive, only precise. That night, I walked our floor, servers murmuring. Zoe leaned on the railing, grinning. "Boss," she said. "What now?" Now, I answered, we build like it was always ours.